Hey there, what's up, everybody? It's Dr. Shazetta. I pray you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday to you. I am here in Tennessee, sitting on my parents' back porch. Um, my mom really wanted to set her porch up so she puts everything away right during the winter months, and because there's so many people coming in and out, visiting, and checking in on my dad, she wanted to make sure that the porch was a nice place to sit. And at first, I didn't see the point, but I'm glad it's here this morning. For those of you who are just joining us for the very first time, welcome to Dr. Shazetta. Dr. Shazetta's The Well Life. This is a place where inspiration, creativity, and intellect collide. This is my little corner of the internet where I allow myself to be the fullness of who I am, no holes barred, unapologetically and intentionally. Welcome to the space. I pray that it is a blessing to you, and I hope that you will see it as a place where you would like to be a part of the community. And if so, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you get alerts whenever I upload new content. For those of you who are new here or it's been a while since you joined, I am in Tennessee right now and have been for the last week or so, and anticipate being, well, the last 2 weeks now, anticipate being here for another week. My father has entered into his end of life stage. We've been navigating dementia with my dad now for quite a few years, and a couple of weeks ago, he started rejecting food and water and just was changing quite rapidly. And so, as of today, March 26th, we are almost 2 weeks without any sort of caloric intake. And we're only managing to get 3 or 4 ounces of water into him a day. Some days none, and that's mostly just to kind of put it in his mouth, and he'll swish it around. Sometimes he'll swallow it, sometimes it comes out. As of last Friday, he's been completely bedbound. We were at one point, with the assistance of two of us and a walker, taking him back and forth to the restroom and taking him back and forth to the recliner so that he could sit up. But on Friday, when we were making it back toward the bed, his legs just folded under him. He didn't fall, he collapsed and blacked out. His body just doesn't have the strength to hold him up anymore. And so we made the decision that night to move him to being bedbound. The EMTs had to come out and get him up off of the floor and help us get him back in bed. And the hospice nurse came out, and she affirmed our decision that it was time to allow him to be bedbound. And we also began that night, because he had begun becoming really agitated, allowed him, or not allowed him, but began that night to medicate him for comfort. Utilizing lorazepam. And so we're not doing it every 4 hours, but in those moments when he seems just really, really agitated, just giving that to him as a way to allow him to relax and to rest. And so he is sleeping most of the time. He is mostly nonverbal at this juncture. Every now and then he'll say something. He'll call for my mom, or he'll say no if we're doing something that's getting on his nerves. But in general, we are clear that this is the seventh and final stage of dementia, and that my father has begun his transition. And a part of that for me, or a part of that for me, has been really in preparation, knowing that this time would come, not knowing when, but knowing that it would come, hoping it wouldn't come as soon. But because I have known it was coming and begun making peace with it, I am able to be at a place of peace as my father is going through this season in his life, and as my family is going through this season. It doesn't mean I'm not heartbroken. Certainly, I have my moments, right, of being overwhelmed with emotion at the fact that my father soon will join the realm of the ancestors and no longer be here on this earth in body. That's hard and it's heavy. At the same time, what I've said to so many and I've said to my classmates is that I'm also rejoicing, right, for him and with him, because we are people of faith. We believe in the afterlife. And so, in many ways, for the believer, this journey that my dad has begun is really one that he has looked forward to. It's one that he has worked toward. And so, as difficult as it may be for those of us here who love him and who will miss him, um, as scripture says, we don't mourn without hope, and we celebrate with him the day that he will make it to glory, as he would call it. And so it is a bittersweet moment. I am so grateful, have so much gratitude in my heart for being at a place in my life where I am able to be here, for my son's educational arrangement being such that he is able to be here, and for my husband being able to join us here in just a few days, and for my siblings who have come in and out, but also to be here to see the community come in and pay their respects to my dad while he's still here, while he's still breathing, and he still recognizes so many people. He recognizes so many voices, and so that has been truly, truly, truly a blessing and a gift for us. So I wanted to give you that update. And also, I've been wrestling with this idea, and I talked about it a little bit over on my Substack. Been wrestling with this idea and really this, I don't know what to call it, this notion, right? Turning it over in my spirit that as a person transitions, as something dies or someone dies, that something new is birthed and something is reborn. And as that has sat with me and I have sought out more from, or more understanding, I shall say, from my spiritual advisors and pastor and all the things, it has really been not only something that has sat with me, but it's been something that has been kind of feeding my soul. And it has been something that has been also liberating and inspirational and clarifying. Normally in moments like this where I don't have control, where it's something that I cannot fix, I find myself being absolutely overwhelmed to the nth degree. Almost in a state of chaos and panic, and it's not good for my mental self, it's not good for my spiritual self, it's not good for the people who are around me. But in this season and in this time, I've been able to be in a place of clarity. And that's not to say that I understand every next step, but a place of clarity in that I've been able to name my desires. I've been able to see the path toward what next steps look like. And I've been able to move with intention, not move erratically based on emotion. And that has been really powerful for me. As I think about what I want the next season of life to look like, because this is very much a season, right? I'm 41 years old, and so this is the season of life where typically, right, elders begin to transition, and life as we understood it or have understood it begins to change. It begins to evolve. You enter into a different season of your life. It is indeed a starting over, a beginning again. It doesn't mean that that all things, right, will fade away and become new, but many things, right, will fade away and become new. And so in this kind of birthing moment that I'm sensing in my own spirit, I'm settling with and in some of the things and ideas that I have pushed to the side for the sake of time, because it was not the perfect time or didn't feel like the right time, or because I wanted to wait until something else was in place. And one moment of clarity has been for me, or one notion of clarity has been for me, to stop waiting for the perfect time, because the perfect time may never come. And that starting over doesn't mean throwing, your established life in the trash and throwing yourself into absolute instability and chaos. But what it does mean is making faithful steps toward what you desire your next to be. And so today at 41 years old, I'll be 42 this year, I'm sitting out on the back porch of my childhood, quite literally. And I'm sitting and looking and breathing and thinking and being extremely grateful for the ways in which God has blessed me, the ways in which God has blessed my family, the ways in which God has allowed us to evolve. My own individual household allowed us to evolve spiritually and relationally and financially. And no, things aren't perfect. Yes, we still got a lot of things to work out. There's still debt that has to be paid off. All of those things. And also, my husband's law firm is growing and getting closer to a place of thriving. My own business ideas are beginning to come to fruition, and I'm beginning to have clarity about the ways in which I want creativity to play a role, the ways in which creativity must play a role in my life in order for me to be thriving. I've gotten back to a place where ministry is something that pours into me, something that blesses me, something that is life-giving for me, not something that drains me. And I'm getting back to the place where, or really getting to the place, I don't know if I've ever been in the place, but getting to the place where I realize that my peace and my well-being comes first. Before I try and pour out to anyone else, before I answer anyone else's calls or anyone else's demands or requests, that my peace and my well-being must come first. And in that kind of realization, in this evolution, there is a starting over. I'm learning a new language, the language of no, the language of sorry, I can't, the language of I let me think about it, let me pray about it, and or I'll let you know if I can. The language of saying, hey, I'm not rushing for anything, because if I have to rush, I probably don't have time. I'm learning a new language, and well, that's kind of a starting over. I'm learning what it means to think more about what I purchase and how I spend my money. And that's not to say to be extra restrictive, because I'm not, but it's to look and say, is this something that I really want? Or is this an impulse buy? Or, you know what? That's something that I really want. And to swipe the card to get it. I'm learning a different kind of wisdom. A wisdom that's not just for others, but a wisdom that's for me. A wisdom that honors the fullness of who I am. And I'm learning courage. I've never been afraid of anything or afraid of anyone. But sometimes when I'm releasing ideas or thoughts for myself, right, business ideas or things like that, and can't quite figure it out, I'll get afraid that it will fail, and I'll just put it on the back burner and never come back to it again. I've always wanted to be a serial entrepreneur, but allowed life and society and all the norms to tell me that it was a foolish notion. But I'm starting over. And in starting over, the desire for that and the belief in myself that I can do that is back. One of my spiritual advisors that I talked to the other day, asking her about this notion that I'm having about something being reborn, even in the midst of someone in my life dying. What she said was that oftentimes when a person dies and leaves a work undone, or had a desire in their hearts that wasn't fulfilled, that there is someone else in the family line who is given the opportunity to pick that thing up and to run with it. My dad always desired to be a businessman. My dad always desired to be a healer. And those are things that I don't think quite ever manifested for him in the ways that he hoped that they would. And so as I feel those things being birthed in me, the healing notion, both through the prophetic gifting and the laying on of hands, but also the cultivating of medicine and medicine making for people, and also as I lean into, right, the entrepreneurship, not side hustles this time. I'm not interested in side hustles. I'm interested in income streams. And that clarity is a clarity of starting over, because if you know me at all, you know that I can be the queen of side hustles, 10, 12, 20 of them at a time. And there have been times and seasons in my life when I needed that to sustain me. But now, this new wisdom for me says, no, you want to create intentional, sustainable income streams. You're not a side hustler, because you don't have to hustle. It's starting over at 41 years old. And so every now and then when I sit down to drop one of these videos, and I really do hope to cultivate this as a more regular practice, right? A more regular uploading. As I sit to upload these videos, I want to continue to bring you all along for the journey, because this for me is a part of the well life. Sitting with your life, looking it over, and continuing to refine the places that don't work for you anymore, that don't serve you well, that don't serve those that you love well. Continuing to refine those places that don't allow for the desires of your heart to be manifest in real time and in real life. Yeah, like my father, I'm striving for the great by and by, to make it into glory and to be reunited with my ancestors at some point in time. But for now, while I'm here, I'm reminded of the Lord's Prayer that says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So I'm going to lean into this on earth season, starting over in all of the ways that feel right to my heart, to my soul, and to my spirit. Listen, I hope that you will join me along for the journey again. For those of you that are new, thank you for joining. For those of you that are returning and continue to hang around, man, I love y'all big. Continue to keep my family in your prayers. My mom in particular, she's been married to my dad for more than 60 years, and she's only 80, so that's literally all of her life.